In this video, I will show you some examples of the using of the ARS Pack Sharp 1 from Unity Asset Store. Let's start with the Compass3D. When you import the project to your Unity project, you will see this hierarchy: ARS Pack 1, Compass3D OSC Rebase. Inside it you have the demo folder with all demonstrations of the components, the documentation, and all the plugins from this package. I will start showing to you the Compass3D. Let's open the scene. I will start showing the pure object compass orientation from the plugin. This is our unit scene. We have a 3D model. So it's a simple model, but we have this test object rotation script. I will open this script to show you. You just need to get the object rotation. This is a property that reads the value from the compass from the mobile device or the smartphone or tablet you have, reads the accelerometer data, and compute the unity rotation quaternion. So you can get this orientation and apply it directly to the object in the scene. I prepared some videos to show you here. The first video I will show you will be about the Compass3D in action. So I am holding a mobile device, pointing to another mobile device. Note that the device is pointing to the north magnetic pole of the Earth, according to the rotation of the device in the real world. And the second example I have here is the 360 camera orientation. Look at the scene. We have these windy rows showing the poles: North Pole, East, West, South, and around these windy rows we have this sphere mapping with sphere projection. Let me see the original texture here. Yes, it's a sphere. You can put a 3D world here. You can put a Unity scene around to cover this sphere. The spheres is the easy way to test the orientation from the compass and the accelerometer. And the script we have to compute this information, I will open it here. It's just it. We get the Compass3D dot camera rotation. The same way the object rotation works, this camera rotation works, but it calculates the rotation you apply directly to a camera object in the unit. Main camera here. And here is the rotation applied in the hierarchy. So let's see the other example. I have another video here. That's time showing the 360 video. From a mobile device, recording another mobile device. We can look up, look down. The orientation inside the scene you are seeing the mobile device still is mapped to the magnetic pole of the Earth. It's very cool. The next component we will see is the OSC message controller. So I will get here demo OSC scene. The scene doesn't have any object on it because it's pure script execution. But I will show you the script source so you can get idea of how to use this component. The first component I will show you is the sender. We need to make a reference to a OSC.OSC sender to hold the sender instance. First, we need to call acquire sender and tell what the address this sender will send the message to, and the port. The port is the UDP port. OSC is a UDP protocol, and this works with directly with sockets. So we created the sender here. Now we want to send a message with the path. We want to send a message with the path /single float and pass one parameter to it. This is how we send a message, an OSC message, UDP over the network. So this sends. Now I will show the scripts that receive that message, so you can see it's very easy to use it with Unity. You need an instance reference to the OSC listener. First, we need to acquire the listener, because we can have in the scene more than one listener to the same port. So you can acquire a listener. You will tell to the listener what object will receive the message the listener receives over the network, and the port you are listening to. So after that, you need to bind the message path, the first parameter, the message path, with the name of the method this class has. So let's see how the single float is implemented in the class. It's here. Single float receives one float as parameter. So if we send a message, we need to specify the path and one parameter. When we receive the message, we need to bind a path, the same path we send here, and mapping to the method name single float. And the single float receives one parameter. This will print received single float and will print the float as a string. There are another types in the next line of the sender. I will send a message to this path, all types test, and every kind of type this library supports, I pass here. It's integer, float. You can send raw byte array, strings. You can create a symbol. It's a special kind of string also. You have an int 64, unsigned int 64, a double value, character, single character value, RGBA value, and a mid value, and a boolean value. A boolean value. This is all type test. Note this have a lot of parameters. So let's see the receiver. First we bind all types test path of the OSC protocol. We map to all types test method. All type test have all parameters we pass in the sender. You can use this library to integrate your code with another already implemented OSC of other softwares. And finally, we can send what is called a bundle in the OSC protocol. A bundle is a set of single messages but the protocol tells that this message will be sent at once. So you have the guarantee that each message will be received in the other side in the sequence you send it here. So in this case, I have a message path bundle int sequence with 4 numbers integer and bundle float sequence with 4 float sequence. Let's see the receiver. The receiver, we bind just the message path. We don't tell to the receiver that is a bundle message. We implement just the single messages. So let's see the implementation methods of bundle int sequence, the bundle float sequence. Bundle int sequence, we have 4 integers, and we can check if the listener comes from bundle. This message we are receiving comes from bundle. So we print the bundle timestamp here. Here is the bundle float sequence with 4 floats. Then we ask, it comes from the bundle? Yes, so we print the timestamp. This implementation, because we construct the bundle with this message sequence, will be called exactly in this sequence this message was created. So when this receiver receives the bundle int sequence and bundle float sequence, the int sequence will be called the first, and the bundle float sequence will be called later. It's very simple implementation. I'll show you the code running in the Unity editor. When I hit the play button, the OSC sender will send the package and we will see the messages from the receiver here in the console. OSC received. So we can see single float 35. All type testing. So the method was called all type test. Received bundle int sequence and the timestamp of the bundle. Receive bundles float sequence, the same timestamp of the int sequence, because it's the same message. Let's see now, the last component we have here is the rebase component. The rebase component, it's a non-orthogonal frame reference base change calculator. The main idea of this component is that you have a real-world coordinate system. In any coordinate system you have, you don't need to have this coordinate system in the Unity editor as I have here. You can have this coordinate from your project blueprint, or I don't know, the square length of your VR environment is any reference system you have, or frame of reference. This I put the origin and the axis, X, Y, and Z. From these 3 axes and this origin, we have what we call the position in real world. What this component do? This component will get this reference you have. They don't need to be orthogonal, not Unity length frame base, and we'll get the value of the position and rotation and convert it. Now this is in our Unity project to our virtual environment, and we have now other reference system or frame of reference in this 3D world. We have the origin, X, Y, and Z. The component will get this position rotation in that reference frame, no orthogonal reference frame, and convert it to this reference frame, and this reference frame do not need to be orthogonal or have unity vectors on its axis. So let's see the result in the editor. If I get this value and change its position in word space, it will convert the position to the other system. Let's play with the position here. And if we hit the play, I put the trail renderer. And look, it is rotating this coordinate frame of a reference, and it's converted to this or another reference frame here. Now the code. Let's see the code. The code test rebase. This is the code. We need first set the real world coordinate system we have. Set the origin, X, Y, and Z. And now we set the target. We need to convert this system to our virtual reference frame system, coordinate system. So we set the origin, the X, Y, and Z. We need to call this compute calibration matrix. This will cross this information and compute the operation we need to do to convert our points and our rotations. The update code will do this. We get the rebase component from the rebase package. And if we call compute method, we can pass the real world position, and the result will be the virtual world position. And if we have to compute the rotation, we have the rebase component. We call the method compute orientation, pass the real world orientation we have. In this method, we will calculate the final virtual rotation we have. So this will update our virtual environment from the real world coordinate system. As we are in the Unity, we call this isPlane. This isPlane will check if you hit the play button, and will rotate the sphere to see what we see in the Unity. That rotation I showed you before. This rotation. Okay. If you have any suggestion for future releases of this product, you can contact me and send me a message. Thank you.